Hi, y'all. I feel like I'm in this moment of I don't know what is going on in my life. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know who I am. Can you tell that I am in my Saturn return? Like, I heard so many people talk about their Saturn return. I heard so many people say how, like, it actually affects you, right? When it starts to happen and the undoing of everything that comes with it. I guess I thought I was God's favorite or something. Like, I just, or like, you just really don't understand how much something is going to like truly affect you until it starts. Like, I thought Saturn was just this planet of like changes, but it's changing me fundamentally, like who I am as a person. Like, not just, I'm used to like think Saturn or like Mercury, right? Messing up like things around me or like something like that, like people leaving, etc., etc. But this is like I just feel like I keep asking myself the question of who am I? Who am I? And I don't know. Like, for some reason, it's like I woke up one day and I realized that the person I was and the person I had been being was not truly authentic to the person I was growing into. And I realized that to grow into the person I wanted to be, it would take like this intense shedding and stripping and ripping of everything I thought I knew about myself, everything I thought I was. And I feel like on this process, this whole year, dude, like I'm about to be 29 in like a few months. But the whole year of 28 and 27 and 28 was like me like ending such big closures. Like, I'll tell you one of the things for me, Saturn retrograde for me, my Saturn return for me, like I ended a 2 year engagement. I had been taking care of my brother, who's 15, for the past 3 years, and I had to make the decision to no longer care for him because it was negatively affecting not only me but my children. And that call, the call to stop being the eldest daughter, the one who fixes it all, the one who carries like everybody's burdens, like my mother's burdens, like that has been big for this year for me. Like, I've been no contact with my mom for years, so there's no talking there. However, even when you're not in contact with somebody, I'm realizing all the ways that which they still affect you, because like she programmed me, she raised me. So a lot of my even anxieties that I realize, a lot of my fears that I have about the world and about what I can do in the world, stem from my mother, and her fears and the way that she viewed the world and the things that she put on me to carry that were not mine to carry, which included my brother. I was 14 when my brother was born, 13 when he was born, and from that day forward, I took care of him. That was it. My mother was an addict. My stepfather was an addict. So I was raised with addicts, and I would just come home from school, out middle school, and I would have the baby all night, all day. That just would be what it was, to the point where she couldn't handle him. So when he was 1, she took me out of middle school altogether and was like, just stay home and raise him. Like, she didn't say that, but like she literally took me out of school, withdrew me from school, told everybody in the family that I was the one who didn't want to go to school, and for some reason that made sense to my family. Well, just, the unraveling of that, you know what I'm saying? So I'm 28, I've spent all of those years raising my brother, also raising I have 3 children, and Saturn, like this time period that God has me in, like really, really, really like put pressure on me to see the burdens and the weights that I were carrying that were not my own. Because to me, I thought it made sense to continue to take care of my brother, because nobody wants a child to be in the system. Nobody wants to give up on somebody. Nobody wants to say, hey, this is too much for me to handle, even though like he was left on my doorstep years ago. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like God had to really sit me down to the point where I was deathly sick. I got so sick. I lost almost 40 pounds in the span of 2 months. No working out, no dieting, to the point where I could not even drink or eat, y'all. Like, I was like a zombie. Like, for real. Like, even right now, I'm still healing and getting my weight up because that was just a couple months ago. So, I couldn't even drink water. Like, that's how bad it was. Like, I didn't know what was happening, but it's like my body, my mind, my soul was just rejecting the relationship I was in. That it was rejecting like my brother living here. It was like it all had to go. It all needed to stop, and it wasn't fast. It was something that I realized, and then I kept like, it's a journey going back and forth because, like I said, it's not hard to make the decision to like let it go, to be like, this is too much for me to handle, or this isn't right for me. And I was always so afraid. That's something else that this season that I'm in has been teaching me. I realized how afraid I was to speak up because of my trauma, or the way I was raised, like with the volatile like mom who would like yell and scream, you know what I'm saying, over every single thing, or like get violent with you. I realized how afraid I was to stand up. Like, I was so afraid to end my engagement, knowing that I was unhappy, knowing that I didn't want it, knowing that it didn't even feel like it aligned with me, because I was too afraid of the other person's response. I was too afraid of disappointing them. I was too afraid of hurting them. And then it got to the point where I was like miserable, like genuinely fucking miserable, because I was just so afraid to stand up for what I wanted. And it was like, I was reading The Mountain Is You. Honestly, the book started it all for me, and it kept talking about resistance and what the resistance is trying to teach you. And I was having so much resistance to the life that I kept trying to live. Like, I was trying to be somebody's wife who I didn't even feel fulfilled with. I was trying to like take on the weight of the world, but it was never mine to carry. I was like living my life for other people, down to the point where like the things and the goals that I wanted to do for myself, I was realized as well that I was like living for other people. Like, the standard that I had put on my life didn't even really make sense. I am a disabled adult. I have schizoaffective disorder as well as Ehlers-Danlos disorder, which is a connective tissue disorder, and it wrecks my time as well as my schizoaffective disorder. Like, I'm battling my mind and my reality most of the time, and I even tried to use that as a crutch. Like, oh my God, y'all, this season, like, everything I thought I knew about myself, everything that I thought it was just the way I was, like, God really sat me down and was like, nah, like, this is all trauma. This is all a pattern. This is all you holding on to something. And what, after all of that stripping, right? Like, after my health getting so bad where I had to sit down and really go, like, I think I'm dying. Like, it was that bad. Like, we didn't know what was happening to me. I was like, I think I might be dying. Like, the fact that my body is like not even allowing me to eat food, to drink water. I couldn't get broth down, jello, nothing. I was just like, what is it? But it was so terrifying to look and say, hey, like, I need to let this go. Like, I need to let go. I don't want to. Like, I don't want to let go of either of these situations. Like, I feel like my relationship was good. It was fine. It just wasn't there. You know that feeling where there's missing something. And I thought that I wasn't allowed to feel that way. Like, that I needed to just settle for good enough. And not that I would be settling with that person, because that person is amazing. They are great. That doesn't mean that they are like my person. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm really realized that all that I thought I knew, all that I thought I wanted out of life, where I thought my life was going, like the 5-year plan that I had, like, is all null and void. Like, it doesn't even align with who I am as a person all the way. So now what? Now what? Like, now what do I do now that I have, like, well, I would say God has stripped away all of these things forcefully. What now? Like, where do we go from here? And God has been telling me one step at a time, one day at a time. Like, I wake up and I'm making sure that I'm doing things that make me feel good if I can. Like, I'm making sure I'm intentional with my self-care and my self-love routine of like making sure I'm moving my body, like Pilates or working out, or just making sure I'm being intentional with taking care of my house, even like spending more time with my kids, because I feel like the relationship I was in took up a lot of my time and energy and my mental capacity, because I realized that I was just working so hard to make something work that I don't think you're supposed to have to work that hard to make something fit. Um, but yeah, so like one foot at a time, one foot at a time, one day at a time, and one inspiration at a time. I keep expecting this big moment of clarity, like this moment of this is it, like I get it, I found it, I'm here. But that moment is not coming. It's not happening in that way. Instead, I'm getting like very small synchronicities, very small moments of joy, very small moments that make me go, I want to do this. I don't even remember what I was saying because my son knocked on the door, but yeah, I remember now. So yeah, I feel like I was waiting for a big moment of inspiration, but it really has been these little small moments of joy, like me randomly getting the urge to do something, me randomly getting an idea. And like, I hate it, like not forcing to know. Like, I've always had an idea of what I wanted my life to be, but being at this point of like, I really don't know. Like, maybe all the things that I thought I wanted my life to be were just combinations of so many people in my life who put their own expectations on me. Like growing up in an abusive household and then getting in, falling into abusive relationship after abusive relationship after controlling relationship. Like, I really never made decisions for myself. Like, I always made decisions for everybody else, for what they needed, what they wanted from me. So this season has definitely been a reshift of stripping. Like, I don't have not one friend. I don't have not one big goal. I don't have a job. Like, I am like, what am I doing? Where am I at? Where are my people? I feel like I'm lost on a fucking, like I'm lost at the sea. That's what I feel. And I feel like I'm having to learn to be okay with being lost at the sea, because I've done it my way. I forced it. I've ran off and done everything that I thought I was supposed to be doing. So now in this season of waiting for God to show me where God wants me to be and what's best for me, and like also like getting in touch and feeling it for myself, because even God is like, go out there and live your life, like go out there and find what you want. So it's like I'm in this season of trying new things, failing at it, trying to make friends, failing at that, trying to find a way as a disabled adult to like live and survive in this economy, kind of definitely failing at. I just feel like a big walking failure right now. But I'm like, okay, everybody keeps telling me that at this point, this is where, not knowing where you are, not knowing where you're going, this is where my journey really begins. So this is why I'm opening up with this video on the channel that I said I would put out forever, to start this journey of it's okay for us to not know what we're doing and what is happening in life. And that doesn't mean that we are lost or somehow off of our path. We are still on the exact path that we need to be on to get to where we need to be, even when we are lost, even when we don't see it. And that's what I'm learning. That like I'm still safe and guided and protected by God as well on this journey. Look at her. But yeah, y'all, it's a season. It's a journey. I'm scared. I'm so scared. But in 6 months, I want to come back and watch this video and see, like, how well I did. Like, how good I am. And I hope that you guys will still be along for this journey, because it's just going to be real, raw, and uncut. Because that's all I have to give. I'm tired of giving anything else. But I genuinely want to be on this journey with others. I want you to be here. So if you will be, then I'm glad you're here. I hope you have a great Wednesday.